Good afternoon, all my fellow comic book addicts out there in the YouTube comic community. Comic Order 410 here, doing my entry video for Running with Comics 600 subscriber contest. And Scott's a really good, knowledgeable guy. He deserves all these subs and many more. And I'm sure if you're watching my vids, you've checked out his channel. But if not, definitely go give him a sub. He's great. And Scott, I think it wasn't too long ago you did... a couple months back, you did your 500 subscriber contest, so thank you for being generous and doing another one. And really enjoying, you going back and getting older trades and stuff and reading them and giving your reviews. I'm really enjoying that because, I don't want to be too cynical because there's a lot of good books coming out today, but when you start backtracking, you can find a lot of gems. So definitely enjoy that. And thanks again and congratulations. So first question that Scott had was, what's your favorite book in your collection? And I'm guessing he means what comic do you value the most personally? I mean, as far as like stories go, I love like Crow, Watchmen, Killing Joke, so many others. I could rattle off about 40 or 50. But in terms of the books that I value the most personally in my collection and I'm the happiest to have in my collection, it'd probably be these two. And I've shown both of these before. This is my Incredible Hulk 181. And I had two copies when I was younger, when it was about a $180 book. And one, was a really, really nice high-grade copy, and I sold it. And I vowed to replace it, and I did. And thank God I also got this copy before it, it wasn't even going for half as much as it is now. This book has gone up a good bit, so I'm happy to have that one. And very happy to have this book as well. I'm a big EC Comics fan, big Frank Frazetta fan. And this is my copy of Weird Science Fantasy 29. Of course, it has some small problems. It's a Golden Age book. But one of my favorite covers ever. This is Frank Frazetta's only cover for EC. It was originally a Buck Rogers cover. And they took away Buck's helmet and colored his hair blonde. And now you have this legendary cover. And I've always loved it. Just so happy to have it in my collection. Two quick runners up. They're not worth as much as these books, but I'm also very happy to own these. This is Dell Large Feature Comic number 7. Pluto Saves the Ship. And I've been wanting this for a long time. It's the first Carl Barks published artwork. I believe this is from 1942, maybe 43. I think it's 42. But was looking for this for a long time. Finally found it a few months back. So very happy to own that. I got a pretty darn good deal on it too. And this, has some problems. It's not horrible, but there's some creasing. You can see a big crease down the middle, like somebody folded this. But this is Mad number 24. And as you can see, first issue of the new Mad. And this is when they went to magazine size to avoid the Comics Code Authority. July of 1955. Before this, it was a comic size publication by EC. So very happy to own all those books. The last two aren't nearly as valuable as the first two. But just glad to have them. Even that book in any condition, just glad to have it in my collection. He also wanted to know books that you think are underrated. And, currently, I think, not so much now because there's a lot of hype around it now, but Justice League Dark was one of the big, pleasant surprises of DC's New 52, and especially the early run, the art and the writing was great. So I think people should check that one out if they haven't. Rumor is, Del Toro might be making a film, but we'll see. Warlord, I definitely think was an underrated book. Not a lot of people read Mike Grell's Warlord. Semi-recently, Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham's Batman Inc. It was one of the lesser-read Batman titles. I thought it got very good. Overall, Akira, I think more people should read that. Probably, my favorite Japanese work, period. ROM, Space Knight from the 80s, kind of cheesy, but if you read the comics, they're not that bad. It was definitely one of the better toy-based publications. When you look at, G.I. Joe was good, Transformers was good, but, a lot of them ended up in, like, Star Comics and more kiddie-fied, and they actually turned ROM into a viable character who interacted with, like, X-Men and other Marvel characters. Also, from the past, Thunder Agents, just an amazing series that was ahead of its time that it still doesn't get the credit it deserves, Tower Comics. And a lot of the Atlas Comics stuff, they're not worth much, but some of it was great, like Scorpion and Planet of the Vampires, a few others, like, Neil Adams and Howard Chaykin and I think Norm Brayfogle. A lot of guys, or was it no, it was not Brayfogle, I'm sorry, Pat Broderick. But, yeah, they had a lot of good guys working on those books. It was short-lived and they're cheap, but great stuff. Atlas Comics from the 70s. Last but not least, I'm starting to go through my collection now that everything's in order and make my wanted list and put my tome together. Books that I'm immediately looking for. I have a couple grails that are probably slightly out of my price range. I was telling a few friends I think I've given up on a first printing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. That's the one I need, and just saw a copy go for like $4,000. I think it was a 9.4 or 9.6, and I'm just like, I can't pay anywhere near that. So I'm kind of giving up on that one, unfortunately, unless I come into some money or a raise. We'll see. Also, would love to own Tales from the Crypt 21. I only need that and the final issue and one other, but that's the most expensive one I need. Also, need a Saga of the Swamp Thing, #21. I have most of the other keys, but that one's really become a popular book and hard to find, and I'm missing it. I need to upgrade my Wolverine miniseries, #1. I need to get a nice copy of that. It's a glaring omission from my Wolverine collection. And Crow #1. That's the only one I'm missing is a Crow #1, thanks to, help from my friends Ira and Fool Killer. Got most of them signed, so Ira was nice enough to get my Caliber Presents #1 signed by James O'Barr recently at the Detroit Motor City Comic Con that Scott and them also went to. And by the way, Scott, looked like you and CJ and Nate and DaCosta had a fantastic time. That was just a really cool thing, and thought it was cool you guys sharing that with everybody. It looked like an awesome time. So, yeah, the final thing Scott asked is, a question you can ask him, and I know we all like comics. I'm also a bit of a movie buff, so I'd just like to know, give me 5 or 10 of your favorite movies. I know you like The Crow. I agree with you 110% on that. Love that movie. But, yeah, you can give me different genres or however you like it, but just 5 or 10 of your favorite films. So, that's it. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by to check me out, and I hope you and all your families are doing well. Scott, congratulations again, and thank you once again. Everyone, take care of yourselves and enjoy your comic book reading.